eyes would be itchy because of allergies, and I have contacts in, and I would be on Benadryl. Girl, I'll be in class, they'd be like, Evelyn, are you high? They're like, was you just smoking? I'll be like, no, it's allergies. Girl, I used to be told up.
Hello everybody,
Welcome back
to the podcast
with Paiton and Evelyn.
Yo, we doing another wow episode because we're trying to get this one done before Evelyn passes out and goes to sleep.
Y'all,
Jesus,
I had to take some Benadryl.
It's always something.
I had to take some Benadryl.
It's always
y'all.
something for why we can't be normal,
Girl,
or why we can't be regular, for why we can't just do a basic episode.
Either it's too late, somebody gotta go because they got something else they gotta do planned.
Yes.
This time it's Benadryl.
Yes.
That is crazy. This time it's Benadryl.
No.
But we still gonna bring a good episode like we always do.
Yeah, we just may have to talk a little less. We may only be able to talk for like 25 minutes today. So that we can get up on out here. We just gonna do, this gonna be a little short episode. A minute-sode. This is gonna be a little minute-sode short episode. So y'all just gonna have to enjoy that and live with that. But yeah, we gonna hop right into it.
Yes.
So for today's topic, we're gonna be talking about how much baggage is too much baggage. And I was kind of telling Evelyn that kind of partially depends on, I guess, like what you feel is baggage, or maybe like what type of situation or relationship you're in. Because maybe if you're like in a real long committed relationship, you have a different idea of how much baggage is too much baggage versus somebody that's just like dating around, you know, having a good time, like getting to meet and talk to like different people, you know, like you kind of have a different like formula and like a different format to like, you know, how you feel about that. So like, say like if I'm talking to different people, I may like be like, oh, that's too much baggage that you want me, you know, to always be talking to you every day. Yeah. Because we're not in a relationship, so like we don't have to text and talk like all day long, like every single day, you know, like that type of thing. But to somebody else that's in a committed relationship or like in a marriage, they'll be like,
no,
don't you want to text me?
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't just be going MIA. Like no, you have
you
to,
can't
like,
just be
you
saying,
need to talk every single day to me. Like, you know, so it would be a different type of vibe and a different type of feel. It kind of reminds me of that TV show too that used to be on, Baggage Claim.
Oh, yes.
Did you used to watch Baggage Claim like late at night? It was like the craziest show, and it was supposed to be a game show. And then people would come on there with like they suitcases, and they would open it up and they would tell whatever their baggage was, and the people would have to choose like if that was like too much baggage for them or if that was like something they liked.
But that was hilarious. I remember that show.
Yes. So yeah, that's kind of what that like reminds me.
But I think for me, you know, I'm always trying to give people chances now. Yeah. But I think it depends because I feel like everybody has baggage. Like, it's not realistic to think that either you don't have baggage or the other person won't. I think, like you said, it comes down to the type of relationship it is and how committed each person is, because that will determine how much you deal with. But I also think that at some point it has to be like you know, it can't be too much baggage because and I was just talking about this with somebody, everybody is always going to have something that goes on in their life. Like, we're human, right? So things are going to continue to happen, situations are going to continue to come up that will never stop. But you have to dictate whether that is going to affect your relationships or not.
Right.
Right. So the baggage will come, but how do you react yourself to that baggage? And how is that, you know, kind of dictating the relationship you have with that person? Because a lot of people deal with baggage differently, right? For themselves. So you may end up having baggage, right? Bringing baggage to a relationship. And the person that's with you is like, oh, bring all your baggage. I'm going to take all your, check in every bag. Every bag is free.
Check.
There is no weight limit to your baggage. You hear me? And they'll be bringing it, and they'll tell you to bring it on. But for you, you may feel like, oh, well, I don't know how they may, you know, take certain things, and then you may feel like, oh, maybe I need to shut down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe because of my baggage, I may need to shut down and can't really, you know, bring all of myself to a relationship. And to me, that's when baggage becomes too much. Is now when you're affecting like how we interact with each other in a relationship. You know, you may start to become distant, closed off. I think that's when it's too much baggage. Is when it starts affecting people's like relationships and how they communicate and stuff with each other.
She said, I think that's when it becomes
I think that's when too much baggage becomes too much baggage. Because I personally, everybody gonna have baggage.
But is it too much baggage that that person then should get rid of their baggage, or you get rid of that person?
Now again, it depends on the relationship. Because you can't be married and be like, oh, you got too much baggage, it's time to get a divorce. It don't work.
People do that.
People do that, but for me, I don't know. Because if that's the case, you'll be divorcing everybody.
And there are people that do that.
You're going to be divorcing
they on their 20th marriage.
At that point, you're going to be divorcing everybody. For me, that's not my prerogative.
People that's on their 20th marriage.
The baggage has to make sense, right?
Yes.
That sounds crazy, but the baggage has to make sense. Some baggage don't make sense, right? It got to be the right baggage for you to take on somebody else's baggage. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And for me personally, the right baggage is dependent on the person. I'm not even going to, you know, tell people what I think is the right baggage, because that's dependent all on the person, that relationship, how they met each other, how they found each other, how they, you know what I'm saying, decided to commit to each other. That the baggage you take on is dependent on the relationship and those people.
Yeah.
But at some point, you're gonna have to figure out when the baggage is too much and when it starts to interfere with, you know, like I said, communication and stuff like that. And you may not be able to necessarily just drop that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You may not necessarily be able to do that. So it's up to you, to both of you, to decide, well, how are we going to help you come out of this, right?
Yeah.
How are we going to help you let go of some of this baggage? And that's the purpose of a relationship. Thick and thin, that do its part, right? Ain't that what the vows say? Some people forgot them vows, you know what I mean?
It's the deliriousness for me right now.
It's giving, I know she's delirious.
I can't right now. We just gotta get through this episode. Oh my god. She changed her voice and everything. She said, ain't that what that vows mean?
Ain't that what they say?
She said,
they forgetting the vows.
She said, don't play with them.
They forgetting the vows. If you really want to talk about it, let's talk about it.
Louise.
Let's talk about it.
But no, for real, that kind of, like, on that topic of like how much baggage is too much baggage, that kind of reminds me of like having almost like deal breakers. I don't know if they would be considered the same thing, but it kind of like they sound similar.
Yeah.
Like how much baggage is too much baggage, and oh, this is a deal breaker for me. So maybe that's how you like determine how much baggage is too much baggage.
So would you put more weight, I would say, on deal breakers or having too much baggage? Like, which one would you focus?
It's probably the deal breakers, because like I said, I think if you know what your deal breakers are, I think that you'll be able to determine for yourself how much baggage is too much baggage. Because the deal breakers are almost like the boundary line for you in a relationship. So if the deal breakers are your boundary line, then you'll be able to be like, okay, like, well, if that was my deal breaker and they do X, Y, Z, and that, then that may be too much baggage for me, and that's why this is not going to work out for me. Or if this is your deal breaker and they haven't crossed the deal breaker, then you'll be able to be like, okay, well, this can work out for me. I think this is going great. I think we should, you know, be able to continue and, like, move forward. That's why I say I think it's different for everybody, because, like, some people are able to, like, date different people, and they're fine with that, and they're in a space in their life where they want to, like, openly be able to be free to date different people, not like in a bad type of way, date different people and they just like playing around with different people. But you know, some people want to be like Lori Harvey and they just want to like, you know, so I try not to judge people that, you know, just want to date different people and do different stuff. Like if that's what you want to do, then for you, like, you may be like, oh, it's too much if somebody else want to be like in a committed relationship right now because I'm not ready for that. But then somebody else may be like, oh, you want to date around, like, that's too much for me, like, I'm not that type of person, like, I want to be in a committed relationship. So you got too much baggage because you want to keep hanging around and talking to different people and meeting different people, and you're not in it. You're not in it and set and comfortable enough with just being with me. Like, you need to move around and do all this stuff that makes me uncomfortable. So I think that everybody needs to have.
Listening is available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and YouTube. Don't forget to leave a positive review, subscribe, and follow.
For more content, follow us on Instagram at Champagne Chanel Pod. We appreciate the support. Catch you in our next episode. Bye.